Hello and welcome to another news update. There's a lot to talk about and also very little to talk about. I was trying to hold off on this until there was some announcement about the events that's going to happen with Warlock release, but unfortunately, here we are Monday morning, about 24 to 36 hours before the actual maintenance is going to happen, and there's nothing. So, here's what we've got to talk about today. Let's get into it. So the headlining story, since we don't have actual events to talk about, is going to be the marketplace update that happened about midway through this time period at about June 17th. Basically what happened was the marketplace was taken down for a week while NCSoft investigated all the false divine gems that were flooding into the market. Then they released a statement. The statement basically reads that all accounts that were immediately involved in direct fraud were banned. These basically are just the bot accounts, the accounts that the third-party sites were using to farm divine gems. And then after this, during the marketplace downtime, they went through and they investigated and found many people who had used RMT through these third-party sites to get a large amount of divine gems for themselves. And what they did was they removed all the fraudulent divine gems from their account. Now, while this seems good in practice, and it is good to do, I don't think it was thorough enough. What they did was they just removed any extra divine gems that their accounts had, but if those accounts had already spent divine gems on items, those items were not taken from them. If they had bought gold, if they had bought other items off the marketplace before it was taken down, and while the market was taken down, they could still take those divine gems and buy costumes from shops, which they can now sell back for divine gems. So effectively, the people who RMT'd and were smart enough to get rid of the dirty money before the dirty money was looked for, they made away with a lot of gains that they shouldn't be able to keep holding on to. But here we are. They initially banned people who did this RMT for about 7 days, but those bans were lifted within about 24 to 48 hours. So overall, the people who did RMT got about an extra day or two of suspension. I would hope that they're at least put under extreme scrutiny by the NCSoft systems, so that way it's seen that if they're ever caught RMTing again, those accounts get permabanned. And then also I hope that it's at least more policed. I hope to see that they're at least making sure that those accounts have a special eye watching them, so that way there's less of this stuff happening in the future. So in the wake of the attendance book release that they did for the market crash, there was a purple soul core chest that you could claim on day 4, and this raised concerns by the community because it ended up being tradable, which meant that as soon as the marketplace came up, you could start putting it on the market. This wouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that new accounts made during this attendance event could also claim that reward, which means people could make a whole bunch of false accounts and then claim this purple soul core and then sell it or pass it between accounts once it came back up to create artificial inflation for the soul core market, which guess what happened? Now soul cores are a fifth of the price that they used to be on the market, but I'm not complaining. I got a couple for myself. Either way, this was heard loud and clear by NCSoft, and they realized that this is a mistake. Did was they said, hey, we're nixing this out for anyone who has not claimed the reward yet, and basically anyone who hadn't claimed the reward by day 5 isn't going to be able to get it from the attendance book rewards. You're going to be able to get that from a different event that they are going to do at a future date. Anyone who did not claim that soul core before they nixed it on the attendance book is not able to actually claim it anymore. If you did happen to pick up that soul core attendance book reward before they nixed it, then congratulations, you got to hold on to that soul core for yourself. And now they're all on the market. Get it while you can. Prices might not be that cheap forever. Also, as a bit of future proofing, they will eventually add AP bonuses to all the active item soul core. If you're looking at specifically the Devourer soul core, that gives you that AP burst in addition to the big explosion. Other soul cores will also have that AP burst in the future, making it a lot less of a disparity between which ones are good in PvE. Picking up a good Poe or Heimujin soul core might be very advantageous for you moving forward. As a bit of less serious news, we have a plushie dropping today, June 23rd, 2025. It's going to be your little Infernal Lord friend, and he's going to be able to cuddle up with you if you choose to pick him up. I assume it's going to be on the Blade and Soul or NCSoft store somewhere. I don't exactly know, but here's the news for you. Go grab your plushies if you want to. We also have the second delivery of the Steam / Purple costumes released. Remember that if you already picked this up, you're not going to get them again. This is just for the people who didn't log in between the first week that they were released and can now grow and grab them if they did happen to log in between then and now. There's going to be one more round of logins for this, so if you haven't logged into the game for a while, but you do want to maybe pick up this costume just in case, you do want to make sure you're logging in now to pick them up. I think it'll be available for one more week.
Nope.
I forget exact details, but I'm sure you can find it in their description on the Discord and in the article they linked. As a quick reminder, you want to make sure that you are choosing the correct costume and the correct region to claim your costume. The Velvet is going to be the purple, whereas the Steam is going to be the blue versions of this costume. And then it's also going to ask you whether you want to redeem it on an NA or EU account, so whichever one is your primary, make sure you're grabbing it there. We're still dealing with this shit, huh? Last but not least, we have DDoS compensation for our dear friends over in Europe. I feel so bad for the fact that you guys are still dealing with all this shit. Believe me, my heart is with you. But basically, to do the quick rundown, there are still DDoS attacks happening on European servers, so there's more compensation for you guys. Anyone who logged in to the European servers between June 4th and June 20th are going to be able to pick up an extra package of goodies, including 5 crafting material chests, 5 growth support chests, 5 daily mission safes, and 10 Hung Moon Blessing potions. A lackluster reward, to be fair, depending on how little you get to play or how much the DDoS is affecting you, but they are trying to show that they are with you guys and to help out the player base through these tough times. Although at this point it's not much of a tough time as much as it is just a tough game, huh? Well, that's about what we have for this week. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be released right before there's any official announcement about an event going on tomorrow. I hope to God we don't learn about the events happening tomorrow, but we'll have to see what comes our way. Until then, I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.